By the spring of 1945, Nazi Germany was collapsing. The once feared German war machine was broken, exhausted, and retreating on every front. Allied armies were crossing rivers, capturing cities, and taking tens of thousands of prisoners every single week. Among the most feared Allied commanders advancing into Germany was one man, General George S. Patton. To many Germans, Patton's army was not just another enemy force. It was a symbol of relentless speed, overwhelming firepower, and total defeat. But what happened after German soldiers were captured by Patton's forces? What did they say when the fighting stopped? The weapons were taken away and reality finally set in. Their words reveal a side of the war rarely discussed. The moment of capture. For most German soldiers, capture came suddenly. One moment they were defending a road, a village, or a forest. The next, American tanks appeared out of nowhere, supported by artillery, aircraft, and fast-moving infantry. Patton's army was famous for not slowing down. Many German prisoners later said the same thing. "We never saw them coming. They were already behind us." Some soldiers surrendered without firing a single shot. Others fought briefly, only to realize resistance was pointless. When American troops approached, hands went up, rifles dropped, and helmets hit the ground. For many Germans, the fear was overwhelming, not just of capture, but of what they believed would happen next. What they expected. Years of Nazi propaganda had told German soldiers terrifying stories about the Americans. They were warned that capture would mean torture, revenge, or execution. Some were told Patton himself was a brutal commander who took no prisoners, but reality was very different. Many German POWs later admitted they were shocked. One captured soldier reportedly said, "We expected to be beaten or shot. Instead, they gave us cigarettes." American troops searched them, disarmed them, and marched them to temporary holding areas. Food was distributed. Wounds were treated. Guards spoke calmly. For soldiers who had spent years under harsh discipline and constant fear, this was confusing. Reactions to Patton's army German prisoners quickly noticed how different Patton's army was compared to their own. They were amazed by the constant movement. American trucks, tanks, and supply columns never seemed to stop. One POW described it as an army that never sleeps. They noticed the confidence of American soldiers, the jokes, the relaxed attitudes, the lack of fear. Many Germans admitted something painful. "We knew then that the war was truly over." Some even said Patton's troops seemed too powerful to fight. Conversations in captivity. As prisoners sat in fields or marched toward POW camps, conversations began. German soldiers talked among themselves, quietly at first, then openly. The mood was mixed. Some felt relief. At least we were alive. Others felt shame. Everything we were told was a lie. Many spoke about Hitler, not with loyalty, but bitterness. Several POWs reportedly said, "He destroyed Germany." By 1945, belief in Nazi victory had vanished. The surrender wasn't just military, it was psychological. What they said about Hitler and the war. One of the most striking things American interrogators noticed was how openly German prisoners criticized their leadership. This was unthinkable earlier in the war. POWs talked about poor decisions, unrealistic orders, being sent to fight without supplies or air support. Some soldiers admitted they felt betrayed. "They told us to fight to the last man, but they were already hiding." Others confessed they never believed in the ideology, only fought because they were ordered to. By 1945, survival mattered more than loyalty. Encounters with Patton himself. Very few prisoners actually saw General Patton, but his reputation was everywhere. German POWs described him as aggressive, unpredictable, impossible to stop. Some even respected him. One prisoner reportedly said, "If we had a commander like Patton, maybe things would have been different." Patton's speed shocked them the most. German officers admitted they could not understand how American forces moved so fast while staying supplied. To them, it felt like fighting the future. Life as a prisoner as POWs were transported to camps. Many realized they were treated better than expected. They received regular meals, medical care, protection under the Geneva Convention. This created a strange emotional reaction. Some prisoners felt guilt for being relieved. Others felt anger at their own government for lying. One German soldier later said, "Captivity was easier than the front line." The psychological collapse. Perhaps the most important thing German prisoners said was not about Patton, but about acceptance. They knew the war was lost. No secret weapons, no last-minute miracle, no comeback. Patton's army represented finality. Once captured, many soldiers stopped thinking about escape or resistance. Their focus shifted to returning home, if there was still a home to return to. The statements of German prisoners captured by Patton's army reveal a powerful truth. Wars are not only won by bullets and tanks, but by morale, speed, and belief. By 1945, Germany had lost all three. Patton's army didn't just defeat German forces physically, it broke them mentally. And when the prisoners finally spoke freely, their words reflected exhaustion, disappointment, and the realization that history had already moved on. Closing. For the German soldiers captured in 1945, surrender was not just the end of a battle, it was the end of an illusion. The illusion of victory, the illusion of propaganda, the illusion of control. And standing on the other side of that moment was Patton's army, fast, confident, and unstoppable. History often remembers generals and battles, but sometimes the most honest truths come from the defeated, spoken quietly after the war was already lost.